Hi everybody, this is Kevin and welcome back to another manga review. And we're finally diving back into Battle Angel Alita, created, written, and drawn by Yukito Kishiro. And we have here the Deluxe Edition Volume 2, and like most collected manga, they jam a couple volumes into one. So we have Volume 3, The Killing Angel, and Volume 2, Ars Magna, and you see it's pretty thick. So we're going to split this into two parts again, and we're just going to go over Volume 3. Now, once again, I had never really read manga aside from Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, and then I finally started reading Battle Angel Alita and Vinland Saga, and I'm sold on it. I think it's absolutely great. I was hesitant towards it in the beginning because, just the lack of color and everything, and reading backwards is a different change in pace in the Western world, but the story's great. I love the movie, too, and the movie, from what I understand, takes place, takes source material from the first 4 volumes, so after Volume 4 here, it's going to be uncharted territory for me. So it started off, Volume 1, you got introduced to Alita and Dr. Ido, and then, coming into her own, fighting Mukako. And then in the subsequent volume, you got introduced to her love, Yugo, and Vector. And it ended with Yugo coming face-to-face with Vector. Now, Vector had promised Yugo a trip to Zalem. That's the above-ground world as opposed to living on the Scrapyard. The Scrapyards were all, the cyborgs are scrounging to make a living. And in Zalem, you have the rich, you have more humanoid people, like Vector here is a human. Dr. Ido is a human, and it's sort of implied that he's come down from Zalem. And so everyone wants to go up there. And Vector promised Yugo here for a sum, however many credits it was. I think it was like 1 million credits, or they call it chips here, to go up to Zalem. And Vector's like, well, I was just bullshitting you, dude. There's no way up there. And what happened was Yugo was stealing cyborg parts from other cyborgs and got run into the law, in which Zapan, one of the hunter warriors, the sort of bounty hunters, went after him and turned him into a cyborg. So Yugo's gone completely mad and just starts running away and climbing up to get to Zalem. Because, money's not going to count. He's just going to go there on his own. And there's these discs that come down. You see, there's all these pipes to get up there, but there's these discs that come down, and the little robot here says that's to keep the rats from climbing up to Zalem. And Yugo's determined to get up there, but one of the discs rips his legs off, and he's just hanging there. And but he's happy to finally meet Zalem, although not gonna last much longer. So Alita's like, I need you to come down. What happened is she never really had love before. She had just come back into this life thanks to Dr. Ido, and she fell in love with Yugo, and says she needs him. And really, the artwork here, I love the drawings of the two of them there, with the eyes and everything. I've really come to appreciate the manga art style. And then she screams, "Watch out, Yugo!" And then the disc comes and cuts him. And Yugo's no more. However, Alita does grab him and hangs on for a little bit here, hanging onto his arm, and he says his final words, "I'm glad I got to talk to you at the very end. Goodbye." And is it not able to hang on much longer? The wires from the arm rip, and he falls down to the end. So that sets up the new story here, The Killing Angel, in the Scrapyard. And what's happened, many months had passed, and Dr. Ido is looking around. He has a picture of Alita, and he's asking people if they've seen her, and no one's seen her. So Dr. Ido's looking around. You know that he's a hunter warrior himself, a bounty hunter, so he has some skills, and he sees a kerfuffle going on in the alleyway here, and a little girl being held hostage. So he saves her, and reveals her name is Shamira, and he shows the picture. She says, "Oh, is that Ido's girlfriend?" He's like, "Oh, no." And she takes him to this Motorball place, and from what I remember in the movie, Motorball, you have a bunch of spectators, and it's sort of like a gladiator sport type game. And from the movie, from what I remember, is spectators. But here you put on like a VR headset, and you take you assume the mind. He assumes the mind of this guy here, number 57. And he sees him on the course, and it's sort of like a thrill ride. And they eventually reveal it's like the bread and circus to keep the people entertained. So through the match, he sees number 99. And that's revealed to be Alita. And look at how badass she looks. She's got these things called the Damascus blades. All the blades and weapons. And you see later some of the more important Motorball players have names that are derived from ancient weapons and martial arts and stuff. And Dr. Ido comes to the fence and sees Alita and starts screaming her name, and she looks at him, but doesn't say anything. So Dr. Ido's like, what is her problem? And it's been, like I said, it's been months. And you meet her new friends here. This is her manager, Ed. And this is like, I kind of compare him to, like, you know, the pit stops in NASCAR, and that he fixes her body and tunes it up. And his name is Umba. And Ed here is a former Motorball player, and he's got these tremors that he has to constantly shoot up. It's sort of like an allegory to drug abuse, I guess. So Uma here, I like his design with all his gadgets and stuff. And then it's revealed she has a new body. This is the Berserker body. And she doesn't want to use it anymore because she doesn't want the memories of Yugo or Dr. Ido from her past life. So Dr. Ido's crying and he's crawling away. And he sees Shamira again. And she's like, you know, you're a doctor. You have the doctor symbol on her forehead, which is really the Zalemite symbol. Signifies that they're from Zalem, from up above. And she says her brother is very sick. And he's like, oh yeah, well, where's your brother? And she points to the sign here, the top league tourney, the champion, Jasugun. So he's the Motorball champion. And Dr. Ido agreed to help fix him. To get the lore here of the Damascus blade, the strongest blade in all the lands. And Alita right now is in the third league. And Jasugun's in the top league. He's the top champion. And Alita's moving up in the ranks. And it's good stuff. So she's walking around here. And Shamira finds her little pet that Alita has and grabs it. And in the meantime, Jasugun here is having his competition. And he's doing a handicap match in which he's only using one arm. To show really how powerful he is. And he's able to dispatch everyone real quick. Take a nice commanding lead. But then he starts, he falls off his feet. And Shamira is like, oh no, it's happening again. We need Dr. Ido. He's the doctor. He's going to save the day. They bring Dr. Ido backstage. And he starts experimenting on him. And he sees, you get this lore here, there's a neuron enhancement with artificial proteins being connected to his cortical column. It's Zalemite technology. So they're experimenting on his brain. And what he does is he takes Jasugun's brain out and wires it up to Shamira and her sort of human energy. So she's a human, right? So is Dr. Ido. But Jasugun is a cyborg. So her human energy connected to his brain is able to wake him. And look at that. He wakes right up. He's like, I'm the only champion. I'm here. And he just runs back after her to compete. Because they had like a time limit. If he wasn't fixed in 10 minutes, he'd be disqualified. So he goes back out there to compete. And then Alita's doing her practicing. What she wants to do is she wants to, continue to make a name for herself and forget about her past with Yugo and Dr. Ido for whatever reason. And she wants to be the best and challenge Jasugun. So like I said, she's been promoted to the second league. And, you see in the beginning, she was number 99. But in the second league, she's not. Number 99 belongs to Aydakatti. And Aydakatti, obviously being number 99, doesn't want to give it up. And it's revealed that, what rank was he? He was 23rd place in the league, right? So he doesn't win a lot, but he does defeat his opponents. He beats them to a pulp. You see his arms, he uses them as weapons, things around. So they agreed to have a best of 3 series, and whoever gets 2 wins gets the number. So they go right into the match, and right away, Alita gets her leg ripped off. So Uma's like, oh no! Look at her faces there. That's like such the anime facial expressions you'll get from the spectators. So they fix her up. They're like, oh, it's only one leg, Alita. You gotta be careful out there. So she says, she's analyzed her opponent's skills and she's able to use her new knowledge against him. Rips his arm off, or leg rather. And then he agrees to give the number up because he doesn't want to be humiliated again. So then he calls her sis from there on, which is kind of cool. So then Alita and Ed are just going out to enjoy the day, and they go to the market, and they're going to have lunch or whatever, when these motorcycle gang members straight out of Mad Max show up and start wreaking havoc. But, Alita's a skilled martial artist, is able to defeat them. And they're sitting down, and once again, you saw Alita had that little pet who went to Shamira earlier before and goes to her again. And she's with her brother Jasugun. And it's revealed that Jasugun is friendly with Ed. So they decide to have lunch together. And of course, Dr. Ido's there now. He's now the manager of Jasugun, because what he wants to do is he wants to humiliate Alita so that she'll quit Motorball and return to him. So it's this sort of crazy subplot going on. And then the leader of the Mad Max biker gang shows up, says, "I'm going to kick your ass, Alita." And Jasugun says, "Let's have a arm wrestling match. And if I win, you leave." And he's like, "Look, my arms, I'm going to defeat you real quick." And he easily gets his ass kicked by Jasugun, who then takes his sunglasses off, and he's like, "What's that? It's Jasugun, the champion. No wonder we lost." And they run away real quick. So Jasugun, you kind of, like, in the Motorball match, you kind of got the vibe that he was sort of arrogant, but he comes across here as a nice guy. And then Alita sees his skills with the arm wrestling, and she says, I'll beat you. So she freaking rips her heart out, which I'm like, oh god, okay. And she challenged Jasugun. If she wins, she gets to challenge him in Motorball. And if he wins, she gets to kill her and rip her heart out. And he's like, okay, weirdo. So he's able to feel her energy. And he mentions down here, which is, I thought this was cool, because he got like the martial arts stuff in the first 2 volumes. And here you get, "The bolt will last only a moment. One single decisive burst of ki." So you get reference to ki now, which is a sort of energy, which you've heard in other manga and anime, like Dragon Ball mostly. At least I have. And I thought that was pretty cool. So he's able to feel her ki pulsating in her arms. And then Ed's having a freaking panic attack. He needs to shoot up with his heroin again. That's what I correlated to him shooting up with heroin. So they're having the match. Yeah! And Alita comes so close to defeating him, and it's all a game to Jasugun. Because like he said, he's got the ki. He can sense the ki in her. And then he fights back, and she's put up a good fight, but it's not enough. He uses the ki to blow up her arm, essentially. And then he just gives up and says, I'm not going to defeat you because you're too good to kill. So I accept your challenge, Alita. He takes the sunglasses off. He's a cool-looking character. I like the way he looks. So very noble indeed. And then Ed's like, "Put that heart back in, Missy. We don't need you dying." So, and then he's got, I think that's Alita's arm right there. Yeah, her arm fell up, and Dr. Ido picks it up. So, these pages are all sticking together. So, and then you got, the second league now. So Alita is going to go on the court here of the second league match. And this match is going to determine who's going to be in the other match to face Jasugun. And you get introduced to all sorts of other cool characters. There's Alita again. I mean, artwork, I really haven't praised the artwork enough. It's mostly been a story review. But the artwork's very good. And you get all these cool characters. This is Teagle, who's sort of like the turtle. He's very slow. He's got a bunch of armor. And he's last in the league. So he's there. Then you get this trio who all have, you have Halberd, Skarmasax, and Baselard. And they're all named after, like, ancient weapons. And they have, like, Taekwondo, Yuan Yang, and Muay Thai Chuek, which you get little anecdotes here to bare knuckle boxing, Chinese martial arts, and fighting style Korea. So nice lore there, and then like cool looking guys. That guy kind of looks like Black Manta from Aquaman, doesn't he? But this is the champion right here, and he's known as Armbrust the Caligula, and this is his associate, the sycophantic Toady Dirty Peshkabaz. And you can tell he's evil because he's got like devil horns on his head. And then finally, the Crimson Winds, Afel Taki. So, and Jasugun's just sitting here watching, having a cup of coffee, watching the match. And at the end here, you get a little cliffhanger. He says, "Dr. Ido, are you going to watch our game?" "No, I'll pass." "Why do you hide it?" "Hide what? I'm not blind, and you and Alita were close once. What kind of game are you playing?" And you get a nice cliffhanger again. However, I also get some notes here. So this is cool. This is like the hierarchy, like I said before, Jasugun's in the top league. Alita just got promoted to the second league. She was in the third league. And then the amateur league is just, if you and me were playing. But the top league is broadcast. It's like, like Major League Baseball, the NFL. So that's broadcast live. This is how, the spectators can put their VR headsets on and watch the player. here's all the rules. This video went on kind of long, so if you want to read the rules, just pause it right there. But a lot of cool lore added to the end here, and it gives you the anecdotes from the machine fist techniques, all these sort of techniques. These are all the moves that they made, the martial arts moves, which is cool. And then get rid of my bookmark there. The thing about Ki, which is the energy, nice thing right there. And then the Motorball players, like I said, they were named the halberd, named after European bladed weapons. Armbrust is the German word for crossbow. And Peshkbaz is the Persian dagger. So a lot of cool lore right there. And like I said, this video is almost 16 minutes. So if I do the whole thing, it's going to be like a 30-minute video. So we're going to end it right here. And next video, we'll talk about Alita Battle Angel Volume 4, Ars Magna. And yeah, I mean, this is absolutely terrific. The artwork's terrific. You get a lot of, like, scenes with not a whole lot of dialogue, just doing action. Like right here, you got, like, one word bubble. You get, like, sound effects of screaming and stuff. And all action. Great story. I mean, the story is pretty cool. The sort of redemption. Alita trying to run away from her past while having, new mentors for her. And the noble character of Jasugun, who, didn't want to defeat Alita. I like the design of his character. I think he looks really cool. With his, where is he? With his sunglasses. Right there. So cool. So yeah, I really like this. I highly recommend it. How much is it? So it's like $30. I'm sure you can find it online cheaper. I think I got it for like $25 or something. But yeah, highly recommend it. Go get it. Battle Angel Alita, Volume 3, Killing Angel. Thanks for watching, everybody. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And stay tuned for more manga reviews. I'm going to keep doing it, like upload it on Saturdays, like Saturday morning cartoons. Maybe I'll upload one midweek. And then I'm also going to be reviewing Vinland Saga Book 2, which is also great. So thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great day.